The last stranger I saw. It was nearly midnight when the Greyhound bus pulled into the dimly lit station on the outskirts of Cleveland. The kind of station where the vending machines are always broken, the coffee tastes like burnt dust, and the air hangs heavy with tired sighs. I had been traveling for 16 hours, from Dallas to Erie, running away from more than I cared to admit. That's when I saw him, the stranger. He wasn't remarkable at first glance, mid-30s, maybe, wiry frame, dark hair that looked like it hadn't seen a comb in days. A leather jacket hung off his shoulders, and his eyes carried something restless, like a storm with no place to land. He looked around the station the way a hunted man might scan the woods. He sat across from me on the cracked plastic benches, and for reasons I couldn't explain, I felt the urge to nod. He nodded back. No smile. Just acknowledgement. Two souls stranded in the same nowhere place. The first words. Long ride, he asked after a stretch of silence, his voice low, careful. Dallas to Erie, I said, rubbing my face. What about you? He chuckled, though it sounded more bitter than amused. Nowhere in particular. Just, out. Out. That word lingered between us. Out of what? Out of a marriage, out of money, out of chances I didn't ask. I had my own ghosts. We shared the same bus again when it departed. The night pressed against the windows like black water, and the fluorescent lights inside buzzed endlessly. The stranger leaned back, eyes half closed. I wanted to sleep, but instead, I kept wondering who he really was. The confession. It was somewhere past Akron, maybe 2 a.m. when he started talking again. His voice carried the weight of someone who had held silence too long. You ever do something you can't take back? He asked. I froze. He wasn't looking at me, just out the window. The question wasn't casual. It came from a place of deep fracture. I think everyone has, I finally said, though mine were small things compared to what his tone suggested. He nodded slowly. Yeah. But mine's different. I was a paramedic in Detroit. 4 years. Saw everything: overdoses, shootings, kids with no chance. You stop being shocked after a while. But there was this one night. He paused, and his jaw tightened. We got a call. Domestic fight. Woman bleeding, husband raging. We pulled her out, but the guy, he came at us. I lost it. Didn't he even think? One swing with the metal flashlight. He went down. Didn't he get back up? I stared at him, the hum of the bus suddenly louder. They called it self-defense, he said, voice low. No charges. Everyone said I was a hero. But he wasn't a stranger to her. He was her husband. And when she found out he was dead, the way she screamed, it stuck in my bones. I saved her life, but I stole something too. I can't get his face out of my head. He rubbed his temples, and I noticed his hands shaking. So I left, took whatever cash I had, and got on the first bus out of Detroit. That's all I've been doing. Running. My turn. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to distance myself, to shrink back into silence. Another part recognized something I hadn't admitted aloud: we were both running. My dad drank himself into the grave last year, I said quietly. My mom, she remarried a man who never wanted me around. I've been drifting since. I tell myself I'm heading somewhere, but truth is, I don't know what that place looks like. He looked at me then, for the first time really seeing me. Not just another passenger. A mirror. The twist in the road. The bus stopped at a small gas station in Pennsylvania before dawn. Everyone shuffled out for stale snacks and a stretch. The stranger and I stood outside in the cold air, steam rising from our breath. That's when a police cruiser pulled in. 2 officers stepped out, scanning the parking lot casually, but their eyes lingered on the bus. My stomach tightened. The stranger stiffened. His jaw clenched. "They're looking for me," he whispered. Before I could respond, he pressed something into my hand. A folded piece of paper. "If they ask, you never saw me." His eyes burned with urgency. "I'm not dangerous. I just can't go back." Then, as if the universe had rehearsed the timing, one of the officers called out, "Sir, hold up a second." The stranger bolted. Across the lot, past the pumps, into the shadows of the trees beyond. The officers shouted and gave chase. I stood frozen, the folded paper burning in my palm. The last stranger I saw. By the time I got back on the bus, dawn was breaking. The seat across from me was empty, forever empty. I unfolded the paper. Inside was a short note, scrawled messily, "Don't let running become your whole life. Stop somewhere. Start over. Even if it hurts." Below it was an address in Detroit. No name. Just an address. I never saw him again. Maybe the police caught him. Maybe he disappeared into another town, another bus, another night. I'll never know. But I do know this: when I finally reached Erie, I didn't keep running. I found a small job at a mechanic's shop, saved enough to rent a room, and started building something not much, but mine. Sometimes, late at night, I still see his face in the reflection of bus windows. That restless storm in his eyes. And I wonder if he ever found peace. He was the last stranger I saw on that long, dark road. But he was also the one who showed me that strangers can change the course of your life in ways you never expect.